Dear Manuel, dear colleague, first I'm very glad to be here in Ixtapa. And I would first wish to thank Manuel for hosting this important event, and also to thank his team for organizing this meeting, which I'm sure will be a very successful one. I'm very proud to be here to co-open this 10th Conference of Insurance Regulation and Supervision in Latin America. I think this conference is extremely timely and addresses issues at the core priorities of the OECD, of AIS and of ASSAL, and which are also, for most of them, extremely relevant to the framework of the crisis. The crisis is obviously central to the current concerns of insurance regulators and supervisors. And it is, of course, also at the top of the agenda of the financial bodies of the OECD, including the Committee on Financial Market, but also the Insurance and Private Pension Committee that Manuel chairs. And in this respect, I thought that it would be relevant that I share with you some selected results of some of the recent OECD discussion about the crisis and the relationship with the insurance sector, of course under the control of my chair, Manuel. First, something which is quite known today. In most OECD countries, the direct impact of the financial crisis on the insurance sector has been fairly limited, at least in comparison with other parts of the financial system. Of course, this is with the notable exception of the financial guarantee and mortgage insurance sectors, and also some specific large insurance companies. You know which one I'm referring to. But still, it is quite clear that the exposure of the insurance undertakings to the subprime, mortgage, and toxic assets does not, at this stage at least, appear to be significant in most OECD countries. And this result reflects in large part adequate investment strategies by these companies, but also to some extent regulatory requirements such as diversification rules and limitation of investment on alternative investment vehicles. In some respects, we can also say that the insurance sector has helped in providing a stabilizing influence in light of its longer-term investment horizon and also the conservative investment approach. This is for the positive angle. However, the traditional insurance sectors, and especially the life one, have been impacted by other economic effects of the financial crisis, such as the fall in equity markets, decline in interest rates, economic slowdown, decline in credit quality, and in some cases, counterparty exposure to failed financial institutions. Several observers consider, following this observation, that the worst is still to come for the insurance industry. Asset liability management, for instance, has, in the context of the current crisis, been challenging. In the current low yield environment, material risk resides on the liability side of the insurance company's balance sheet, and that's especially the case for life insurance companies. And we can even observe a kind of perverse impact of the monetary easing for the insurance industry. Turning to impact on premium growth and income, we observe as well that the sustained downturn in financial markets and the weak economic outlook have started to affect the outlook for premium growth. Solvency margin for the insurance sector generally remains sound, clearly. However, in some countries, there has been a deterioration in margins over 2008 due to losses on financial instruments or exposures. There have been also, as I said at the beginning, a few notable highly criticized failure of some insurance companies or financial groups, including insurance companies, most prominently AIG or Fortis, for instance. Something important is that the recent developments have demonstrated the close relationship insurance companies may have with the rest of the financial sector, and how there may be a strong contagion effect across financial groups and across the financial sector. It is also worthwhile to recognize that some of the risks have been increasingly transferred to households and to the policyholders especially. It is important to recognize in this respect that insurance companies' balance sheets have in recent years grown substantially due to the high growth rate in unit-linked insurance products, which are investment-type products, as you know, similar to mutual funds, and where the investment risk is in the hand of the policyholder, not the insurance company. So to conclude this first part of my speech, the insurance sector, for the time being and on average, went through the crisis in relatively good shape, but the worst may still have to come. And if insurance companies were more or less safe, policyholders in some cases paid already a heavy price. So, no looking toward the future, looking toward policy issues, financial crisis and the related governmental responses have served to identify a number of policy and regulatory issues. Some of them have been already discussed in a lot of forums, including FSF, but additional issues certainly require consideration by financial regulation. And a preliminary list of these issues has been identified by the OECD on the occasion of a recent meeting we had 15 days ago. And I will go through most of these issues quite quickly. First, corporate governance. The resilience of insurance companies in the context of the current crisis may be due, in part at least, to improvement in governance and risk management practices. However, clearly, there is scope for further improvement. And the OECD and AIS have cooperated since spring 2008 on working on the governance of insurance companies. The OECD will also be reviewing its own insurance company governance guidelines in 2009. Second issue is related to the regulation of monoline insurance companies. It is quite clear that establishing a robust regulatory and supervisory framework for financial guarantee insurance companies is necessary to ensure a continued role for financial guarantee insurance and financial markets. The supervision. Consideration may need to be given to whether supervisory mandate needs to be broadened. The interaction of sophisticated players in financial and insurance markets may create market failure, we know that. And in this context, it may be very important for insurance regulators and supervisors to ensure, but of course in cooperation with other financial agencies, that an appropriate regulatory and supervisory system is, where necessary, brought to sophisticated insurance market and its participants, and not only to the protection of the consumer in general. The large conglomerate structure also raised a lot of issues. The failure of a number of large, globally active financial conglomerates has raised a range of issues related to the consolidated supervision, the pooling of liquidity, extent of diversification, contagion risks, and so on. The examination of these issues provides clearly an opportunity to identify legal and other impediments to more efficient and streamlined system of financial group supervision and to assess whether changes should be made. Consistency. Consistency is also a key word. With financial liberalization, deregulation, innovation, insurance markets have become increasingly linked with capital markets and the broader financial system. This cross-penetration, increased sophistication, and the convergence of financial and insurance markets raise question of consistency. Consistency in regulation and supervision, and point to increasing risk of gaps arising in the regulatory system. Another interesting issue which was raised by the crisis is the competitive impact of the government intervention measures. The introduction of special crisis-related government intervention measures to support the banking system has raised level playing field issues between the banks and the other financial institutions like the insurance companies. Some countries have in many cases included insurance companies as participants to this rescue and guarantee program to make sure that there is a level playing field consideration. The accounting standard is also a key issue. The use of mark-to-market accounting has been the subject of criticism, while some arguing that it contributed to the crisis and even amplified the crisis. However, we know also as well that ensuring a proper transparency is important for investor decision-making and promoting the market discipline. But there is clearly a need to better understand the extent to which fair value accounting may have contributed to the financial crisis and to take the conclusion from this assessment. Financial education. I mentioned the growth of unit-linked business. It is clear that the growth of unit-linked business and related risk to policyholders raise the question as to whether consumers have been appropriately informed of the risk of investing in this type of product and properly understand the options available to them within the product structure. More generally, individuals need to be better informed and aware of the financial risk and be educated to take. The too big to fail problem.